Right, good morning. It's Mark Barton again, one of the directors of MC Rental. Seeing as it is Road Safety Week, we thought we'd take the opportunity on going through some of the safety features that have all been introduced in the recent years. In particular, today we're going to be talking about the Volvo truck, the Volvo tracked unit. This is the FH5. Volvo is a Swedish company, and it's probably well known that Volvo, or Swedish should I say, safety features have always been very high on the agenda and very hot. In fact, up until recently, it was probably one of the greatest safety regulations in the world. This is going to be a good example for us to go through. The Swedish crash test regs were much higher throughout the whole of the world than all of the other manufacturers. In particular, the Swedes took great pride, and Volvo, in the crash tests for the cabs. If you want to take a look at some of the YouTube content, that would be a great way of seeing some of the stuff that I'm explaining. As I mentioned, some of the other countries now are having to catch up with some of this legislation to do with safety. And in July 2022, it was introduced as the General Safety Regulations, and all manufacturers on new vehicle types from July 2022 had to implement a lot of these safety features. We're now in 2024, in actual fact coming to the end of 2024, but it's a good point to make that in July 2024 was the GSR2, so that was the General Safety Regs 2. And this actually has brought everybody else and manufacturers on new trucks up to the same level. The General Safety Regulations 2, GSR2, its primary aim is to reduce collisions by providing driver assistance systems to help protect the occupants of the vehicle, pedestrians, cyclists and other road users. The following systems were introduced as mandatory. So it was the emergency stop signal, which is ESS, the reversing protection, which they call VRU, the driver alert system, DAS, vulnerable road user detection from both the side and the front, which is the MOIS, moving off information system, and the BSIS, which is BSIS, which is the blind spot information system. In addition, there is the tyre pressure monitoring, which is TPMS, the Intelligent Speed Assist, ISA, and also the alcohol interlocked facilitation. Some of these items work in conjunction with other features already fitted to the Volvo truck, and you'll see some of the benefits as we walk through and go through them. So we're just going to walk around. I'm going to show you some of the features that we've been covering. Okay, so if we look at the front of the vehicle here, this is the radar. This is the front radar. Then we've got two cameras in the windscreen. We've got the lower camera, and we've got the camera further up. Okay. Then as we walk round to the side, some of these are very well disguised actually. We've got a fisheye camera hidden up into the knuckle of the mirror, and that will actually look all the way down this side. And then one of the latest features is this radar, which will actually look forward, and it will look back beyond the length of the semi-trailer when it's coupled up to the vehicle. Okay, so if we come round to the other side, we've also got the same radar on this side, which isn't mandatory in the UK, but we know that it'll eventually come. So Volvo have decided to put the radar on the offside as well, which obviously, if you're going to be in European countries and driving on the other side of the road, this is where the blind spot would also be. Okay, so now we're inside the cab, and you can see some of the features that we pointed out when we was on the outside, and then they'll have a little bit more meaning. So this is the actual screen that at the moment I can actually see to my left, which is the blind spot, and I can see that there's pedestrians down there. Now, if you look just out the window at the mirror, you would not be able to see that. You cannot see that in the mirror. So this gives you an advantage. In addition, this has actually also got the rear camera view. So this is a tracked unit. So although the tracked unit primarily has a trailer on it, when it is solo, you would still need to be able to see right behind you, and it's got its own safety obvious things. So when you're coupling up to a trailer, or if you're reversing back in a yard, that there's no one and no obstruction. Okay, then we mentioned on the outside about the top camera. There's the top camera from the inside. That's what that looks like. We've also got the lower camera. Yeah, and then we've got a detection radar here for the lane change. Literally all of these things work in conjunction with the items that we spoke about and the radars on the outside. It's actually not that obvious, and to be honest, it's quite good because it's incognito, it's there, and away we go. Now, one of the things while I'm sitting in the truck that would be a useful item to sort of mention is that with both use of the driver assisted system, which monitors the stability of the steering and also the lane control. So if, for argument's sake, a driver is becoming weary or tired, generally it has an effect on the steering, becomes either erratic or not at all, and you start wandering. So the lane control would actually advise you by giving you an alert that would actually tell you that you was coming out of lane, and quite a jolt of a noise, and that literally would wake anyone up. It's a bit like the rumbling strips on the side of a road, but it's actually in the cab with you making the noise. So that's a brilliant feature to make sure that everyone is going to be safe and alert, because we all need to be alert with truck drivers, because these things are big machines that can do a lot of damage. On this display as well, it gives you other information. You've got the driver time support, which actually gives you indication. Not only you'll have your tacho card in, but it can give you, set your stops, so it can give you reminders. So if we go into here, it actually shows you all the remaining driving time, next day rest that you'd need. You know, I mean, this is just valuable information, and there's no excuses for the driver to end up becoming weary. In addition, we mentioned one of the features was the tyre pressure monitor. So literally that is there, and it actually gives you what the tyre pressures are in bar. I think you can change it to have PSI if you so wish, but you can see then that will give you an alert if you've got a tyre that's starting to get hot and deflate. And that is going to be such a brilliant safety feature, because how many times does everyone walk down or drive down the motorway and you see a tyre casing on the side of the motorway, which one, it's going to make the vehicle unstable itself, and two, when it eventually comes off, it can be a hindrance to other road users. This is the heads up radar. There's obviously someone coming in front of us, and it's showing you the heads up from this so that you can see it and you can hear the noise. So that is the noise I was referring to earlier, and now we're able to show you it in practice. So, you know, no one can ignore that. No one can ignore it. So it's a great feature, and that is the warning that comes up if people are at the side of the vehicle, front of the vehicle. If you're actually going along, which is the driver assistance, and you're actually going towards a stationary vehicle, that will come up to tell you that you've got to stop. And the quicker it's going and the louder it is, means the closer you're getting to it. So that should stop a lot of the issues where parked vehicles get rammed up the back. Hopefully that's been helpful and interesting to you guys. So that's all that we've done today. Should give people a good insight into the safety regs that are already in place. So hope you enjoyed it. If you want any more information, or you want to speak to anybody, just click on the link below, and that's me for today, signing off. See you soon.